I'm Linda Gilbert. I'm Director of Schools for Murfreesboro City Schools. Murfreesboro City Schools serve the residents of Murfreesboro, Tennessee. We are at 8,050 students. We have seen a 600 student increase this past year. We serve pre-K through 6th grade. We have 15 regular ed pre-Ks. 6 of those are in federal housing projects, so obviously we have a great relationship with the Murfreesboro Housing Authority. We believe in the whole child, and everything we do is centered on children. We have 4 values. Those values are trust, truth, open communication, and a focus first on children. Our mission is to ensure the academic and personal success of each child. Those are words. In practice, what this looks like is that we make sure that not only are we addressing the needs of the individual children as far as their academic needs, but we also are looking at their social needs, we're looking at their emotional needs. So we really are looking at a picture of the whole child. We have behavioral specialists in schools. We have a nurse in every school. We have tremendous partnerships. In fact, we really implement the idea of serving the whole child through our partnerships and also through what we call professional learning communities. As far as professional learning communities, they are collaborative groups. We are broken into grade level teams, and those teams meet at least on a weekly basis, and they look at data, they look at academic data, they look at behavioral data, so again, looking at the needs of the whole child, individual children. And we talk about what we can do as a group, collaboratively, to meet those needs, so that we see that data shift, so that we see that needle move positively for children. So we have tremendous teachers. We have over 600 teachers that come together and work together and believe in children. Murfreesboro City has more state teachers of the year than any other district in the state. And in fact, this year we just had the state teacher of the year for gifted, who's a teacher who's teaching at Discovery. So when we think about what makes a difference in children, we know it's that teacher. And when we can say that we have excellent teachers and we really mean it and we can really prove it, that's what makes this district special. We really want to be partners with the community. We want our schools to be the center of the community. As far as partnerships, we start with MTSU, which is a tremendous partner. And when we look at MTSU, we have a partnership with Mitchell Nelson, which is a Leader in Me school based on the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Covey. And MTSU is partnering with Mitchell Nelson for a collaborative leadership and learning institute, where we have the children from Mitchell Nelson going on to campus and MTSU students and professors coming to Mitchell Nelson. We have across the city about 100 students that go once a month to MTSU for Club Marvel. Club Marvel is a program for our children where they go on campus and different departments host them, so they have active hands-on learning with those departments. We are now famous for taking all of our children to MTSU once a year for a basketball game. It's really quite an event, and the logistics of it are just amazing that we can pull it off every year. But we do it because we want our children to be able to see beyond high school. And when we take them to that ball game, they are on that campus, some of them from the very first time. And so building up to that, we have our teachers who are using information about MTSU with hands-on instruction in the classroom in preparation, math, science, English language arts. We also have, with MTSU, we have various science organizations that are involved in our schools. We have practicum students who are coming that are preparing to be teachers. Obviously, we have a lot of student teachers that are coming into our schools. Have a partnership with the music department over there, with the drama department over there. We have music teachers who are coming in and working with our preschool students. As far as the drama department, we have one of our schools, Bradley, that is an arts integrated school that is going over, and they're going to spend a day with the theater department over there. So lots of partnerships with MTSU. Strong partnership with St. Thomas Rutherford with the mobile health unit that actually was begun through a partnership with the city schools, where we have the mobile health unit. It's now called Ministry in Motion, that comes to our schools, that is going to do well child visits, also serves the entire family. Great partnership with the Guidance Center, have a good partnership with Vanderbilt, have a good partnership with Lipscomb, partnership we've already mentioned with the Housing Authority, Parks and Rec, great partnership there where they are using our schools for their basketball games. On the other hand, we're partnering with them to help us with some of our gardening activities. We just received a farm to table grant. We were the only district in the state that received that, where we will be having Overall Creek that will be our pilot site for gardens and for greenhouses. We have a great partnership with the police department. They are in our schools, DARE officers, great officers. They really almost mentor children so that there isn't that fear of law enforcement. Great partnership with the juvenile court. We are really working on our tardies and our truancy because we know that children have to be at school for them to learn. Read to Succeed comes in and does family reading nights. There are a lot of other partnerships that I'm sure I'm missing. Faith-based organizations I cannot ignore. We are going to begin tutoring in partnership with Bel Air in the Winlawn Mobile Home Park, and we also are going to be partnering with the Methodist churches this summer for what's called Project Transformation, which will serve 60 children. It's an 8-week literacy program at Key United Methodist Church. And then we also will be partnering with Olive Branch for some summer programming this summer. New Vision is another partner that we have. They really have initiated the Lunch Buddies program. So faith-based partnerships, again, looking at the whole child, one of the ways that we do that is through our partnerships. Before we leave that topic, I do want to talk about the initiative we have begun with our Gifted program. We have worked with Vanderbilt and we're partnering now with MTSU, and you are going to see a real emphasis on our high achieving students and our gifted students. We have been working already with our students who are challenged a little bit in reading as far as what we do with intervention, but we really are looking at lifting every child by looking at high expectations for every child and every teacher. So I am just blessed and fortunate to be part of this school district. One of the things that makes us unique, I think, is that we have an outreach team, and not all school districts have that, but we have a very diverse school system, and it's important for us to reach parents. It's important for us to reach the diversity that is out there in our community and to celebrate that. So you're going to see us partnering with the Discovery Center. You're going to see us partnering with Patterson Park to have African American celebrations, to have the Hispanic celebrations, to have the Asian celebrations, to have all kinds of different celebrations of the diversity. I just really think it's pretty cool that we have a district that can take time to appreciate the people that we serve and the diversity of that population. I think when we think about the whole child, we have now a no-cost breakfast and lunch for every child, because we think that it's important for children to not be hungry if they're going to learn. We also have a backpack program for several of our children that we are having a church come in and they pack food for our children to take home on weekends. In addition to the no-cost breakfast and lunch, we began a program a couple of years ago called Junior Chef. It operates after school, but we have an actual chef that we have hired as a district, and that chef, in addition to working with the food service staff, has a junior chef program. So we have students in every school that every semester they learn how to cook. And at the end, they have a graduation where they put out a spread of food that they have cooked, and they also get a chef's hat. So it's pretty cool to watch that. Another thing that nutrition has done is we have a Chow Bus, which stands for Combating Hunger on Wheels. And we're really looking at now starting another Chow Bus. But the way that bus is used, we have taken the bus and gutted it and put bench seats in with tables. And so the children can be served on that bus. A lot of our schools are using that as a reward for students. If, for example, if they've been particular leaders, they can go to the Chow Bus and have lunch. But we also have it going in the communities, particularly during the summer, but now also after school, so that we're serving as many as 36,000 breakfasts during the summer. During the summer, we have a summer feeding program that serves anyone in the community age 18 down. And so we're really proud of that. So we're very proud of our nutrition department and what has happened there. One of the new programs that we implemented 2 years ago was what we're calling our Active Kindergarten program. And what happens with that is our kindergarten students, all of the special area teachers, so our music teacher, art teacher, our librarian, in addition to our physical education teachers, they come together every day and they work with students. And so you have students that are actively learning. They're crawling on numbers as they say the numbers. They may be jumping up and down and counting. They may be talking about a particular thing in science, but they're applying that with their body. So it's really active learning. And recently we were recognized with that. We were listed as one of the systems that's very effective with our physical education. Again, thinking about the whole child, working with her coordinated school health program. And so we've been very proud of that. The Robert Wood Johnson has one of our teachers really on the front page of their publication because of what's happening with combating obesity in Rutherford County, and particularly Murfreesboro City. One of the things that we've really seen expand the last couple of years is our extended school program. The extended school program is really what's known as a wraparound program. So it starts at 6 o'clock in the morning and it ends at 6 o'clock at night. And it really serves those families, those working families. But what we've seen even the students who may have the stay-at-home moms, they realize the excitement that is found in our ESP program and the learning that's there. What you're seeing in our ESP program is more enrichment programs, so you're seeing things like hockey and golf and just name the sports programs that are there. But you're also seeing field trips. You're seeing a partnership with the Chamber of Commerce with what's called the ACE program, where folks are coming in and they're talking about job readiness, but they're also taking field trips then into the community, into the manufacturing community. You're seeing partnerships where we're having technology camps, allied health camps with the Technology Center. So a lot of different kinds of things happening now with ESP. A lot of professional development with our staff. We have a lot of college students that are going to be teachers that come in, and that's really their training ground. But it's important for us to have professional staff there and trained staff. So I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens with ESP the next couple of years. We're pretty excited about the changes we're seeing. We are serving now over a third of our children in our ESP program. And if there are suggestions out there for how we can enhance ESP, we certainly are welcome to hearing those. We're always looking at ways that we can be more efficient, and one of the things that we did a couple of years ago is we really looked at our transportation schedules and our opening schedules, and we realized that we could utilize our bus service more efficiently if we had two different start times. So we now have a 7:30 start time and an 8:30 start time. Interestingly enough, the 8:30 schools are really enjoying that late start time. It seems that tardies are less frequent in those schools, but we also have schools that we know that like the 7:30 start times, and we look at where we are as far as the traffic flow. So for example, if you are in a situation where you have Siegel High School, Siegel Middle School, and Siegel Elementary School, we work with the county. We have a very collegial relationship with the county for those opening start times. The same situation in other areas where we have 2 or 3 schools. So we are looking at what's best for efficiency as far as fiscal efficiency, how we spend taxpayers' money, but also we're looking at how can we make sure that, again, working with partners, which our county school system is, how we can make sure that we adjust our schedules together so that it's better on the public as far as what they're facing when they're going through school zones. And that's something we'll continue, I think, to look at, is how we can really be more efficient. We have schools that have emphasis, and I'd like to talk about that a little bit. For example, Bradley is an arts integrated school, tremendous art teacher there, drama teacher, which is really unique. I think there are very few school districts in the state that have an actual drama teacher, but terrific music teacher there. In the last couple of years, they've partnered with the Center for the Arts, and so their performances are actually at the Center for the Arts, and that's really unique. Mitchell Nelson just moved to a Leader in Me school, and what that is about is really developing leaders within that school. Hobgood has become a real practicum place for MTSU students. We have students in that school from MTSU every day learning what we're doing. Northfield is very interested in moving toward a STEAM focus, so a more focus on science and math. You'll see that happen in the next couple of years. Overall Creek is looking at an environmental science focus, so they are working with the MTSU biology department and some specialists there as far as native plants and again the greenhouses. So at each school, although we're very consistent across the district as far as our curriculum and as far as really looking at research-based strategies and what works best with children, what you're going to find in Murfreesboro is really you have a diversity of focuses of schools. I have to mention the council. A couple of years ago, I came to them with the idea that we really need to look at technology. and that we wanted to move toward enough technology that it was infused in our system. Because if we think about what we do every day, I don't live very long without my cell phone, and certainly the communication with the computers and just social media, everything that we do. Our children are growing up in a very different world than what I grew up in, certainly. And I really appreciate the council acknowledging that. And so we were able to, they funded for us for 2-to-1 laptops for our 2nd grade through 6th grade. So we have, for every 2 students, we have a laptop. In K and 1, we have an iPad. And what we're finding is our teachers are using it so much that they're using their PTA money to actually buy additional devices. But I think that when I go to the council, I try to make it clear that I come to them when I really need them and I need their help. And that's what happened when we needed the technology. I appreciate the fact that they have to look at many departments. They have to look at the entire city. And so many of those departments, because they look at every other department, those departments impact on us because we're strong partners with them. I feel very comfortable going with them, always very honest with them about what we need, never excessive, realizing that they are responsible for taking care of the taxpayers' money. And they look to me and to this school system to be sure that we're doing the same thing. So I just appreciate the relationship I have with the council members. They are just exemplary. We're very blessed in Murfreesboro to have a very active school board. They are very committed to the values of the school system, and they're very committed to making sure that we have high expectations of students, of teachers, and of administrators. I'm very blessed to work with a board that is elected. It's elected citywide. We have alternating, our board has 7 members, and they are alternating as far as when they are elected. So they are elected for 4-year terms, and they're elected every 2 years. You'll have a different set coming in. We have past educators on our board, we have a physician on our board, we have an archaeologist on our board, we have a business person on our board, we have a doctor on our board. So really a lot of diversity, and I think that's important because as we see the move more toward workforce readiness, what we know is that workforce readiness really starts when the children are young. In fact, there are studies that show that by the age of 8, children already have an idea of what they want to become, of what their potential is. And what we know is when our children leave us, they already have a mindset of success or failure. So our board is very conscious that they want to make sure that every child, when they leave us at 6th grade, when they leave 6th grade, that they have a successful outlook. I cannot go without mentioning our principals, our assistant principals, and our district staff. They are exemplary. It's amazing how many school districts are coming to us now to see what we're doing, and that work is led by our district staff and also by our principals. There's a collegial relationship with them. When you come to our central office, unlike other central offices, our folks are probably not going to be there, and I don't want them there. I want them in the schools, and they want to be in the schools because their job is to support the teachers, to help make them more effective, to give them the tools that they need. So our central office staff, any hour of the day or night, they are accessible. I expect them to be there. Principals also, it's not unusual for us to be emailing at 11 or 12 o'clock at night. That open communication, that trust that says we can call central office when we need something, the expertise is going to be there. If it's not, they're going to find it. That's critical. And what you see then, and what we expect is that to also be the same kind of relationship we have between the teachers and the principals, so that if the teachers are needing something, that principal is responsible for helping that teacher to find it, to help them be more effective. 3 years ago, we realized that we did not have a data collection medium. And so we implemented Skyward. The one thing that Skyward will do that parents, I think, really appreciate is that parents can go on Skyward and they can see how their children are doing. And we use Skyward also to disseminate the report card. So we have moved to a standards-based report card. So now when parents get their report card, it doesn't just say reading A, and we really don't know what the child is succeeding in as far as reading skills. So we have broken that report card down to what's called the standards. And so for individual standards, it has how that child is progressing. And then through Parent Portal, we can have that communication with parents about how their children are doing. Our first priority is student safety. And so we work very closely with the Murfreesboro Police Department. They actually do a comprehensive survey of our schools every year to feed back to us what we can do to make them more safe. We obviously have cameras, we have a buzzing system. A lot of the safety things that we have in place I'm really not going to share, because our job, and I think as parents what they want us to do, is to ensure the safety of their children. And one of the ways that we can do that is just not to put out there to the listening to public about everything we're doing as far as safety, but rest assured that we are in communication with our police department and have a tremendous relationship with them, and we listen to them and we follow their directions. We are very open to the community volunteering. We're very open to community suggestions. We have on our website, which is www.cityschools.net, we have a spot where you can ask questions, and what will happen is if you have a question, then when that's submitted, then it will go to the appropriate person to answer that question, and we'll get back to you. So if the community has suggestions, please contact us, 893-2313. Likewise, if there are volunteers out there, we welcome you to our schools to read, to be lunch buddies, to come in and talk with their children about your jobs, to talk about workforce development, to talk about your life and what's important to you, and how that translates to when you were a child and what you needed to do to become who you are today. So when you think about the volunteer opportunities, we have some, absolutely, a lot of them already in place that you can feed into, but if you have ideas, we would like to hear that too. I was asked yesterday by someone who my mentors are. And I guess my mentors really are the people that I work with, because they help me be better, and that's really important. I am not the most important person in Murfreesboro City Schools. The children are the most important people in Murfreesboro City Schools, and I am just blessed to be able to work with those folks who really care about children and are committed to working with them every day.